ever feel like some leaders just have it? Like there's this certain something that makes you want to follow them, believe in their vision?
Yeah.
You know, like what did Steve Jobs have that made Apple such a phenomenon?
Right.
Well, get ready to unlock that secret sauce because in this deep dive, we're cracking open Simon Sinek's Start With Why.
Ooh, good one.
And trust me, it's going to change how you think about leadership forever.
It's true. We're not just talking about charisma here,
Right.
though that can be a part of it. Sinek, he goes deeper,
Okay.
right into the wiring of our brains to show why connecting with someone's WHY, their core belief, that's the key to inspiring action.
Okay, so let's break this down. Sinek talks about this thing called the golden circle.
Yes.
Basically, it's like a way of understanding how we communicate and why some messages, they just stick and others totally fall flat.
Think of it like this. Imagine 3 concentric circles.
Okay.
The outermost circle is the products you sell, the services you offer, the actions you take.
Right.
Most companies, they start here. They're leading with what they do.
Makes sense, right?
Sure.
Like explain what you're selling. But Sinek, he argues that's actually backward.
Exactly. Because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it.
Interesting.
This WHY, the purpose that drives you, that's the middle circle.
So going back to Apple,
Okay.
their what is computers and phones.
Yeah.
But their WHY, their driving force, is to challenge the status quo,
Right.
empower the rebels and the dreamers.
Precisely. And that message, that WHY, it taps into something much deeper within us.
Yeah.
Remember Apple's Think Different campaign?
Yep.
They weren't showcasing product specs. They were showcasing people who embodied that spirit of, challenging conventions.
And it worked. Like people connected with that message on an emotional level.
Totally.
Because it spoke to their own desire to be a part of something bigger.
It's like that feeling, when you meet someone who shares your values.
Yeah.
Just click.
Yeah.
You don't need a logical list of reasons why. It just feels right.
Right.
That's the limbic brain at work,
Oh, interesting.
the part of our brain responsible for emotions and decision-making.
Wait, so are you saying that we're not as logical as we think we are?
Not entirely, no.
Yeah.
See, the limbic brain, it doesn't process language the same way our, logical brain does.
Oh, okay.
It responds to feelings, to gut instincts, and those gut feelings, they're often based on our, deeply held beliefs and values,
Right.
our WHY.
Right.
So when someone communicates in a way that aligns with our WHY, it creates this immediate sense of trust and connection.
Okay, now that is fascinating.
Yeah.
So when Apple says think different, our limbic brain goes, yes, that's what I believe too.
Yes.
Even before our logical brain has time to process what that means for buying a computer.
Exactly. And that's the power of tapping into the WHY. It creates a connection that it transcends logic and speaks directly to the heart of what motivates us. It's about inspiring action rather than, simply selling a product.
So it's not enough to just tell people what you do.
No.
You have to make them feel why you do it.
Yes.
It's about connecting on that deeper level.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some people who really nailed this whole start with why thing.
Sure.
Sinek uses the Wright brothers as a prime example.
Yeah.
They weren't the only ones trying to build airplanes,
Right.
but they were the ones who made history.
They were.
Why?
They had this unshakable belief in their WHY
Okay.
to change the world through flight. And that belief
Wow.
that fueled their perseverance, even when they faced setbacks,
Yeah.
even when others doubted them, they weren't motivated by money or fame.
Right.
They were driven by a deep-seated belief that they could make the impossible possible.
It's like their WHY gave them this superpower, this ability to overcome obstacles that would have stopped others in their tracks.
Yeah.
And speaking of superpowers,
Okay.
let's talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
His WHY, his dream of equality,
Yes.
ignited a movement that changed the course of history.
Absolutely. Dr. King's message resonated so deeply because it tapped into a universal human longing
Yeah.
for fairness and justice. Sinek connects this to the law of diffusion of innovations,
Right.
which basically says that for an idea to spread,
Mhm.
it needs to reach a certain critical mass of people.
So it's not enough to have a great WHY. You need to communicate it in a way that resonates with enough people to create a movement.
Exactly. And Dr. King, he did that masterfully.
He did.
He communicated his WHY with such passion and conviction
Yeah.
that it sparked a fire in the hearts of millions.
Wow.
Think about his I Have a Dream speech. It wasn't just a speech.
Yeah.
It was a rallying cry
Yeah.
for a nation yearning for change.
It gave people a WHY to believe in, a cause to fight for.
Right.
And that shared belief,
Yes.
that collective WHY,
Yeah.
is what ultimately led to the Civil Rights Act and a profound shift in societal norms.
And it wasn't just Dr. King himself.
Right.
It was the countless individuals who heard his message,
Yeah.
connected with his WHY,
Yeah.
and took action themselves.
Right.
That's the power of a WHY that truly resonates. It creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to join the movement.
So we've seen how a powerful WHY can shape history and movements and all that, but how do we actually, find our own WHY?
Right.
Yeah, it can feel kind of overwhelming,
It can.
Like, where do we even begin with that?
That's a question Sinek answers. He suggests kind of looking back at your life.
Okay.
Those moments that truly energized you.
Right.
Those activities that you naturally gravitated towards,
Yeah.
they hold clues,
Interesting.
to what makes you tick.
It's like those times you were so into something that you just completely lost track of time, right?
Yeah.
Those moments of pure joy and fulfillment.
Right.
Those probably reveal something about our WHY, right?
Exactly. Say you were that kid who loved organizing the other kids into these really elaborate games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your WHY is about bringing people together.
Yeah.
Fostering that sense of belonging.
So it's kind of about connecting the dots,
Yeah.
those seemingly random things we're passionate about and the experiences that we have,
Right.
and seeing how they all fit together
Exactly.
to create this bigger picture.
And once you have a clearer sense of your WHY,
yeah.
then you can start making choices that align with it. That might mean you pursue a certain career path,
Mm-hmm.
volunteer for a cause you believe in, or even just saying yes to those opportunities that light you up inside.
Right. It's like that celery test that Sinek talks about.
Yes.
Evaluating decisions based on whether they fit with our core values.
Right.
Even if it means, saying no to that tempting chocolate cake sometimes.
Precisely. The celery test helps you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Make choices that support your WHY, even when faced with, those tempting distractions.
So it's about building a life, both personally and professionally, that reflects what truly matters to us, what matters to me.
And remember, finding your WHY, it's not a solo mission.
Okay.
Surround yourself with people who believe in what you believe in.
Right.
Think about those leaders we talked about. They didn't achieve their goals alone.
Right. They had help.
They inspired others to join them, to contribute their unique talents and perspectives.
It's about building a team, a community, a movement even.
Right.
All around that shared WHY.
Yeah, and that shared belief, it's a powerful force for change.
As we start to wrap up this deep dive, one thing that really stands out for me is how Sinek emphasizes that leading with WHY isn't about manipulation.
Right.
It's about authenticity, being genuine.
Absolutely. It's about being true to yourself.
Right.
Understanding those core values.
Yeah.
And communicating them in a way that resonates.
And in the end, it's about building trust, inspiring action,
Yes.
and ultimately making a real difference in the world.
That's it.
So as you go about your day, we encourage you to really think about this. What's your WHY?
What makes you feel truly alive?
And how can you make choices, whether they're big or small, that line up with that purpose?
Because when you live in alignment with your WHY, that's when the magic truly happens.